I've always known that the most important thing in making your dreams a reality isn't money or connections. What truly matters is believing deeply in your vision. When we started Alibaba, almost everyone around me doubted the power of the internet, especially in China. I remember one particular evening when I invited 24 friends to my home to share my idea. We debated for hours, and by the end, 23 of them told me I was crazy. But you know what? That didn't discourage me. Because if you don't believe in what you're building, no one else will. The strength to keep moving forward comes from that unwavering faith in what lies ahead, even when nobody else sees the potential. Life is full of uncertainty, but I've always approached challenges with an open and optimistic mind. Difficulties are just part of the journey. I still recall trying to secure our first bank loan. We asked for only $3,000. After 3 months of waiting, the bank rejected us. That could have been a huge blow, but I knew this obstacle wasn't going to stop us. If I had given up at that moment, everything would have ended there. But instead, that rejection only strengthened my conviction that our vision was far bigger than any roadblock. When you truly believe, no closed door can hold you back. What kept me going wasn't the pursuit of money. It was the purpose behind my vision. From the beginning, I wanted to solve real problems for small businesses in China, connecting them to the world. This wasn't just about me. It was about creating an impact that would change millions of lives. Even in those early years, when Alibaba wasn't making any profit, I received emails from customers thanking us for helping their businesses. Those messages gave me the strength to continue, even when the path was tough. When you work for something greater than yourself, the motivation to keep going never runs dry. I firmly believe that vision must always be at the heart of what we do. And do you know why? Because it attracts the right people to join you. In the early days, my team didn't fully understand what I was trying to build. But as I continued to believe and take action, they started to follow. If you're waiting for everyone to see what you see from the start, you'll be waiting forever. The most important thing is to stay focused, no matter how many challenges come your way. And if you're still unsure, let me ask you, if not now, when? If not you, who? This mindset pushed me forward, day after day, even when it seemed like the entire world was against us. You see, many people fall into the trap of repeating the same things over and over, expecting different results. But doing what you've always done, following the same path as your parents, will not take you far. This is something I've learned early in life. If you keep walking down the same road, how can you expect to reach a different destination? Complaining about your situation without making a change will keep you exactly where you are. Instead of focusing on what's wrong, I've always chosen to focus on finding solutions. If you really want to succeed, the key lies in solving problems, other people's problems. The more value you can create for others, the more you will grow. When I started Alibaba, we weren't just creating an online marketplace. We were solving a real pain for small businesses that had no way of reaching global customers. It wasn't easy, but the focus on solving this problem, rather than complaining about the difficulties, is what set us apart. I've seen this happen so many times. People wait for the right time or for someone else to come and fix their problems. But let me tell you this, that moment will never come. The opportunity lies in your hands. You have to act now. As I often say, if not now, when? If not me, who? Don't wait for the perfect situation. Go and create it. The ability to see an opportunity where others see a challenge is one of the greatest skills you can develop. Complaining doesn't change the world. Action does. If you keep doing what everyone else is doing, don't expect extraordinary results. Look for where you can make a difference, for where others see an unsolvable problem. When you do this, you won't just create wealth, you'll create impact. And when you focus on making that impact, the success will follow. But remember, change starts with you. As I always say, if you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit, change yourself. That's where true growth comes from. There's something magical about youth. It's the most valuable asset you have. When I was young, I didn't have money, I didn't have resources, but what I had was energy, curiosity, and time. Youth gives you the freedom to take risks, to fail, and to learn. Many people are afraid to make mistakes, but when you're young, that's exactly the time to try new things. Because even if you fall, you still have time to get back up. I remember when I used to wake up at 5 a.m. every morning just to go to the West Lake in Hangzhou to practice English with foreign tourists. At the time, I didn't fully understand why I was doing it, but that experience opened my eyes to a world beyond what my parents and teachers had taught me. It showed me that I could think differently, and that mindset shaped the rest of my life. Youth is not just about physical age. It's about the courage to embrace the unknown. When we started Alibaba, the internet was still a mystery to most people in China. Nobody believed it could work, but I was young enough to take that risk. I didn't know exactly how we would succeed, but I knew that we had to try. This is the time in your life when you can afford to make mistakes, because every failure brings with it a lesson that will make you stronger. So don't be afraid to fail. In fact, embrace it. The more you fail, the more you learn. And the more you learn, the closer you get to success. As you grow older, the chances to take big risks will become fewer. That's why I always tell young people, take your time, but don't waste it. Use your youth to experiment, to dream big, and to act. Remember, youth is your greatest advantage. It gives you the freedom to innovate, to think differently, and to challenge the status quo. Don't let fear stop you from using it to its fullest potential. To Satkin, failure has always been a constant companion in my journey, but I never let it stop me. In fact, I learned to embrace it. Every failure brings with it a lesson, and each lesson makes you stronger, more resilient. You see, the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not that one group never fails, but that they never let failure define them. I've failed many times in my life, more times than I can count, but every single time, I got back up, and I learned something valuable. When I tried to secure a bank loan for Alibaba, asking for only $3,000, we were rejected after 3 long months of waiting. That rejection could have ended everything. Many people in my situation would have given up, but instead, I chose to see it as part of the process. The road to success is never straight. It's filled with twists, turns, and yes, failures. But each failure gives you the experience you need to succeed in the future. I always tell people, when you're poor, if you have a dream, you never feel poor. Even when we had no money and no resources, the vision kept us going. Failure didn't make me feel defeated. It made me more determined. It taught me that the most important thing is not how many times you fall, but how many times you get back up. Every time we stumbled, we learned something new, and that knowledge became the foundation for our future success. The truth is, failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. The more you fail, the closer you are to finding what works. But most people are afraid of failure. They think it's something to be ashamed of. I don't. I see failure as a gift, a teacher. Without it, we wouldn't have Alibaba today. Every setback, every rejection made us sharper, more innovative, and more determined. So, don't be afraid to fail. Embrace it, learn from it, and most importantly, keep moving forward. Failure is only final if you stop trying. As long as you continue to push through, you are always one step closer to success. So, one of the most valuable lessons I've learned is that true entrepreneurship is not about making money. It's about solving problems. The more problems you solve for others, the more successful you become. When we started Alibaba, we weren't focused on making ourselves rich. We were focused on helping small businesses connect with customers around the world. That's what drove us, and that's what continues to drive me today. In those early days, many people thought that success was all about personal gain. But I always knew that to create lasting impact, you need to think about the value you're bringing to others. It's not enough to focus on yourself. When you help other people succeed, your own success follows naturally. This is why, even during the toughest times, when Alibaba wasn't making a profit, we stayed committed to our mission of helping small businesses. I believe that success comes when you align your goals with the needs of others. If you can find a way to make life easier for people, to solve a real pain point, that's when you'll truly begin to see results. This mindset shifts the focus away from yourself and onto those you serve. The greatest companies in the world are the ones that started with the desire to fix something that wasn't working. And it's not just about identifying problems, it's about finding innovative solutions. When you look at the world through the lens of service, you start to see opportunities everywhere. Every challenge becomes a chance to create something new, something valuable. When you help enough people achieve their goals, your own success is guaranteed. So don't focus on money, focus on making a difference. The money will come, but the real reward is the impact you make along the way. In life, there will always be challenges, setbacks, and moments when it feels like everything is going wrong. But here's something I've learned. Optimism is your greatest competitive advantage. When most people see difficulties and give up, those who remain optimistic are the ones who find solutions. I've always believed that in every problem, there's an opportunity. You just need the right mindset to see it. When Alibaba wasn't making any money in its first 3 years, many people lost hope. But I never did. I knew that we were on the right path, even if the results weren't showing yet. Why? Because I had faith in the future. Instead of complaining about the difficulties we faced, I chose to look forward, to see what could be possible if we kept going. If you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit, change yourself. This is what optimism is about: changing your perspective, adapting your approach, and believing that things will work out in the end. Optimism isn't just about positive thinking. It's about resilience. It's about having the courage to keep moving forward when everything seems to be against you. It's easy to be positive when things are going well, but the real test comes when things fall apart. That's when your optimism becomes your greatest strength. It gives you the ability to see past the obstacles and focus on the possibilities. The world needs more optimistic people, especially in business. Too many people focus on what's wrong, on what can't be done. But I believe that for every problem, there's a solution waiting to be discovered. When you approach challenges with optimism, you open yourself up to new ideas, new ways of thinking, and new opportunities that others might miss. So stay optimistic. Even when things are hard, even when the odds seem stacked against you, that optimism will keep you going, and eventually, it will lead you to success. Yes. One thing that I've always believed is that timing is everything. If you want to be successful, you must be the first to act. In business, as in life, it's not enough to have great ideas. Execution is what separates success from failure. I've seen many brilliant ideas fail simply because people were too slow to move. Being quick and decisive can make all the difference. That's why I've always been the first to wake up, the first to take action, even when others were still planning. When we were building Alibaba, speed was critical. The internet was new, and nobody really knew what was going to happen. But instead of waiting to see how things would play out, we decided to dive in head first. We didn't have everything figured out, but we knew we had to act before someone else did. It's like being in a race. If you hesitate even for a moment, someone will pass you. That's why you must be the first to start running. Being the first to act doesn't mean being reckless. It means having the courage to make decisions quickly and the confidence to take risks when others are still hesitating. Too many people wait for the perfect moment, but in my experience, that moment never comes. If you wait too long, the opportunity will pass, and you'll be left behind. So, if you see an opportunity, don't hesitate. Act. I often tell people that in today's fast-moving world, it's not about the big fish eating the small fish anymore. It's about the fast fish eating the slow fish. That's why you need to develop the habit of taking action. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. Move quickly, adjust along the way, and learn from your mistakes. Remember, it's the speed of execution that counts. So, be the first to act. The faster you move, the closer you get to success. Opportunities are everywhere, but they don't wait around forever. You have to go out there and grab them before someone else does. Success never comes easy. During Alibaba's early years, we faced constant criticism and rejection. There were moments when it felt like the entire world was against us. But I knew that giving up wasn't an option. The truth is, you have to work the hardest when the odds are stacked against you. That's what separates those who succeed from those who don't. It's easy to work hard when things are going well, but the real test comes when everything seems to be falling apart. I remember those tough early days when we struggled to gain traction. Investors weren't interested, and we weren't making any money. But we didn't stop working. My team and I kept pushing forward, day after day, even when it seemed like nothing was working. We knew that the only way to succeed was through persistence and hard work. If you're not willing to put in the effort when things are tough, you won't be ready for success when it finally arrives. Hard work is the foundation of success, and it's especially important when everything seems to be against you. There will always be obstacles in your path, but you can't let them stop you. If you keep working hard, no matter how difficult things get, eventually you'll break through. It's not about working when you feel like it. It's about working even when you don't. That's where real progress is made. I've always believed that success comes down to how much effort you're willing to put in when no one else believes in you. It's easy to be discouraged when you face rejection, but that's when you need to work even harder. Keep your head down, stay focused, and trust that your hard work will pay off, because eventually it will. The world rewards those who refuse to give up, so keep going. Even when everything seems impossible, even when the odds are against you, keep working. Because the breakthrough always comes to those who work the hardest. I've always said that money is not the most important thing. Yes, it's important to make a living, but the true value lies in the experiences you gain along the way. When I look back on my journey with Alibaba, it wasn't the money that made the difference. It was the lessons I learned, the experiences that shaped me, and the knowledge I gained. That's what led to true success. When we first started Alibaba, we didn't make any money for the first 3 years, but those 3 years were some of the most valuable of my life. Why? Because during that time, I learned more than I ever could have if everything had gone smoothly. The hardships, the rejections, the failures, each one taught me something new, and those lessons became the foundation of our eventual success. Too many people focus solely on making money, but they forget that the real treasure is the experience you gain. Experience is what prepares you for the challenges ahead. It's what gives you the skills, the resilience, and the knowledge you need to succeed in the long run. Money comes and goes, but the experiences you gather stay with you forever. If you're only in it for the money, you're missing out on the bigger picture. The true value of any journey is not the financial reward at the end, but the growth you experience along the way. Every challenge, every setback is an opportunity to learn and grow, and that growth is far more valuable than any paycheck. So, don't chase money, chase experience. Learn from every situation, every mistake, every success, because in the end, it's the experience that makes you rich. Ideas are powerful, but only if you act on them. I've met so many people who have great ideas at night, but by morning, they've given up. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is persistence. It's not enough to have a great idea. You have to be willing to pursue it, even when the road gets tough. Too many people give up at the first sign of difficulty, but if you want to succeed, you need to push through the hard times. I can't count how many times people told me that my ideas wouldn't work. When I first started talking about e-commerce in China, nobody believed me. People said, "You don't know anything about the internet, and you don't have the capital." But I persisted. I believed in my idea, and I didn't let anyone talk me out of it. That persistence is what made all the difference. Having an idea is just the beginning. The real challenge is sticking with it when things don't go according to plan. There will always be obstacles, there will always be setbacks, but if you give up too soon, you'll never know what could have been. Every successful person I know has faced failure, but they didn't let that stop them. They kept going. I often say that many people have brilliant ideas in the evening, but by the time morning comes, they've lost the courage to pursue them. Don't let that be you. If you have an idea that you believe in, fight for it. Stick with it, no matter how hard things get. Because persistence is what turns dreams into reality. So hold on to your ideas. Don't let doubt or fear stop you from pursuing them. Keep pushing forward, and eventually, your persistence will pay off. Success rarely comes from staying in your comfort zone. If you want to achieve great things, you have to be willing to step into the unknown. I've always believed that the greatest opportunities are found in places where others are afraid to go. When I started Alibaba, it wasn't just a new business. It was an entirely new way of thinking. The internet was unfamiliar to most people in China, and stepping into that world required leaving behind the security of what we knew. But that's where growth happens, outside of your comfort zone. It's easy to stay where things feel safe, but nothing remarkable ever happens there. If you want to build something extraordinary, you have to be willing to take risks, to do things that make you uncomfortable. It's in those moments of discomfort that you learn the most about yourself, your abilities, and your potential. I've always encouraged young people to challenge themselves, to push beyond the limits of what they think they can do. When you step out of your comfort zone, you expose yourself to new experiences, new opportunities, and new ways of thinking. It's not easy. It can be scary. It can be challenging. But that's where true growth happens. You don't learn anything by staying where things are familiar. In the early days of Alibaba, I faced many moments where I was completely out of my depth. I didn't know everything about the internet or about running a global company, but I was willing to learn. I was willing to make mistakes and figure things out along the way. And that willingness to step into the unknown is what allowed us to grow into something far bigger than I could have ever imagined. So don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. It's only when you're willing to challenge yourself that you discover what you're truly capable of. The greatest rewards come to those who are willing to leave behind the safety of the known and embrace the uncertainty of the new. When I started Alibaba, almost nobody believed in the internet. At the time, China was still very much disconnected from the rest of the world, and the idea of building a global e-commerce platform seemed far-fetched. But I knew that the future was in the internet, even if nobody else could see it yet. It takes courage to follow a path that others don't understand, but that's where the real breakthroughs happen. Innovation often requires you to go against the grain, to take a road that others might avoid. It's not easy, because when you're doing something new, there will always be people who don't understand. They'll tell you that you're wrong, that you're wasting your time, or that it's impossible. But if you truly believe in your vision, you have to have the courage to keep going, even when it feels like the whole world is against you. I remember when I invited my friends to my house to talk about starting an internet company. Most of them thought it was a crazy idea. They said, "Jack, you don't know anything about the internet." And they were right, I didn't. But I had the courage to move forward anyway, because I believed in the potential of what we were building. If I had listened to them, Alibaba wouldn't exist today. Following a different path often means being misunderstood. But as long as you stay true to your vision, eventually people will see what you saw all along. Innovation is about creating something new, something that didn't exist before, and that requires stepping into the unknown. It takes courage to be different, but it's the only way to create something truly impactful. So have the courage to follow your own path, even if it's one that nobody else understands. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by following the crowd. They got there by having the courage to lead the way. One of the things I've learned throughout my journey is that success isn't just about you. It's about the impact you have on others. I've always believed that the key to lasting success is to make other people happy. If you can solve their problems, improve their lives, and help them succeed, then your own success will naturally follow. This is why, from the very beginning, Alibaba was focused on serving small businesses and helping them grow. When I think about the early days of Alibaba, what kept us going wasn't the thought of getting rich. It was the belief that we were doing something important for others. We were giving small businesses in China a way to connect with the global market, something they had never been able to do before. And even when we weren't making money, the emails we received from customers thanking us for helping their businesses were what motivated us to keep going. I believe that success is a byproduct of helping others achieve their goals. The more value you can provide to others, the more successful you will become. It's not about focusing on yourself. It's about focusing on how you can make a difference in the lives of others. When you make other people happy, your own happiness and success follow. Many people get caught up in the idea that success is about personal gain, but that's not how it works. The more people you help, the more successful you will become. This is why, even today, my focus is always on how Alibaba can continue to serve small businesses around the world. The more we help them succeed, the more we grow. So, if you want to be successful, focus on making others successful. The more value you bring to the world, the more success will come your way. When I look back on my journey, I realized that the greatest success wasn't the money we made. It was the experiences we gained along the way, the lessons learned, the failures endured, the challenges overcome. These are the things that truly matter. Because at the end of the day, success isn't just about what you achieve. It's about what you learn along the way. The experience of building Alibaba has been one of the most valuable things in my life, not because of the financial rewards, but because of the growth it has brought me. Every setback, every obstacle we faced taught me something new. And those lessons have stayed with me long after the challenges have passed. Too many people focus on the end result, the money, the fame, the recognition. But the true value of any journey is found in the experience. The failures you endure, the mistakes you make, the knowledge you gain, these are the things that shape you and prepare you for even greater success in the future. I've always said that the money isn't the real reward. The real reward is the experience you gain and the person you become in the process. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become better. and that growth is far more valuable than any financial gain. So remember that the greatest success is not found in the destination, it's found in the journey. Embrace the experience, learn from it, and use it to become the best version of yourself. Throughout my journey, one of the most important things I've learned is how to deal with criticism. When you're trying to do something new or different, people will always have something to say. They'll criticize your ideas, your methods, and even your dreams. But instead of letting that criticism bring you down, I've always chosen to use it as a tool for growth. Criticism, when handled correctly, can be one of your greatest teachers. In the early days of Alibaba, we faced a lot of negative feedback. People said we didn't know what we were doing, that we were trying to build something impossible. But instead of letting that discourage us, we listened to the feedback and used it to improve. I didn't take it personally. Instead, I saw it as a way to get better. Every piece of criticism, no matter how harsh, was an opportunity to learn something. I believe that criticism is just feedback in disguise. It's easy to get defensive when people criticize you, but if you can step back and listen, you'll often find valuable insights. The key is not to take it too personally. Use it as a mirror to reflect on what you can improve, but don't let it shake your belief in yourself or your vision. As long as you stay true to your purpose, criticism can only make you stronger. I've also learned that sometimes criticism comes from a place of misunderstanding. When you're doing something innovative, people often criticize because they don't understand what you're trying to do. That's okay. You don't have to convince everyone. What's important is that you take the lessons from the criticism, make adjustments where necessary, and keep moving forward. Let the criticism refine you, not define you. So don't be afraid of criticism. Embrace it. Use it as a tool to sharpen your skills, strengthen your ideas, and make yourself better. The more you learn from it, the more successful you'll become. The last and most important lesson I can share with you is this: never stop learning. No matter how successful you become, no matter how much you think you know, there is always more to learn. Learning is a lifelong journey, and the moment you stop learning, you stop growing. This mindset has been at the core of everything I've done, from the early days of Alibaba to today. Even now, after all the success we've achieved, I continue to learn. I read books, I meet new people, and I stay curious about the world. That's because I believe that the world is constantly changing, and if you're not learning, you're falling behind. The most successful people I know, people like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, are always learning. They never stop seeking knowledge no matter how much they've accomplished. When I was young, I didn't have access to formal education in the way many people do today, but that didn't stop me from learning. I used every opportunity I could to improve myself. I practiced English with tourists at Westlake. I learned from books, and I learned from my failures. Every experience was a chance to grow, and that mindset has stayed with me throughout my life. Learning is not just about acquiring new skills or information. It's about keeping your mind open to new ideas and perspectives. It's about staying curious and humble, knowing that there is always more to understand, and it's not just about learning for yourself. It's about sharing that knowledge with others, helping them grow as well. So never stop learning. Whether you're just starting out or you've already achieved great success, there's always more to discover. The world is full of knowledge, and the more you learn, the more opportunities you'll find. Keep your mind open, stay curious, and always be ready to learn something new.
In a world full of uncertainty and constant change, few individuals have managed to inspire and lead as consistently as Jack Ma, the visionary co-founder of Alibaba. In his journey from humble beginnings to building one of the largest e-commerce companies in the world, Ma shared the secrets that drove his success. His philosophy isn't just about achieving personal wealth, it's about persistence, helping others, and never losing sight of the bigger picture. In this powerful presentation, Jack Ma emphasized that success doesn't come from luck or connections. It's born from unwavering belief in your vision. He recounted how, even when nearly everyone doubted him, he refused to give up. His story isn't just a tale of financial triumph, it's a masterclass in perseverance, growth, and leading with purpose. From learning to embrace failure to having the courage to step outside your comfort zone, Jack shared the lessons that have defined his life and business. What truly stood out was Ma's belief that success comes when you solve other people's problems, and that lasting impact comes from benefiting those around you. His insights on optimism, hard work, and the importance of continuous learning provided a roadmap for anyone looking to achieve lasting success. Jack's message is clear. No matter where you start, the key to transforming your life lies in your hands. Now that you've heard the incredible lessons from Jack Ma, the question is, what are you going to do with them? Will you take action and apply these principles to transform your own life? Or will you let this knowledge slip away? Remember, success isn't reserved for a few lucky people. It's the result of belief, hard work, and constant learning. Are you ready to step out of your comfort zone and take the first step toward your dreams? Think about it. What's one idea from Jack Ma's journey that resonated most with you? Was it his insistence on never giving up despite criticism, or his belief in solving other people's problems to achieve success? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, every time you need a boost of motivation, come back to this video. Let Jack Ma's words remind you of the power you hold to change your life. If you found value in this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more insightful content like this. You're one step closer to success, and the journey has just begun. Don't stop here. Check out our next video, How I Accepted Failure as Part of Success. Best motivational video, Jack Ma. And keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing toward your dreams.